Greetings, everyone. I'm excited to welcome Madeleine Lambert at Originality AI. Maddie, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much for having me.
Hey, well, let's kick this off. Tell us a little bit about your background.
Yeah, so my background is mostly within the content marketing space. In 2016, I founded a company called Content Refined, which was a content marketing business that focused on creating SEO-driven content. So basically, our main customers were like affiliate marketers, people who were trying to rank quickly in Google in order to get their pages noticed and sell things via the Amazon affiliate program was our pretty narrow target market there. So we started that in 2016, grew it. I learned a ton and we did quite well. And then, COVID hit. That inflated our business big time because everybody was going from, every brick and mortar business was basically going online. And so we had a huge influx of clientele there. And then in 2022, we exited the business because we saw the wave of generative AI coming with certain off-the-shelf content marketing or certain off-the-shelf tools like Jasper AI that were coming in hot. And so we decided to exit instead of weather that storm and got in front of the problem in a different way by creating and founding Originality.
Yeah, appreciate that background. And, I started so cliched. I started my blog in 2016, just writing
Mhm.
all these posts myself, about SaaS finance and metrics and got lucky with SEO. But I can imagine like if you've been in the content game long enough, like just the changes, you're right, that we're seeing over time are just amazing. Like Google updates and now just AI and cranking out content. And, just before we talk about your company, is the content game changing? Is there just like so much more? Is the game the same, but we just have to cut through the noise a little bit more?
No, I think the landscape's totally different. I mean, at the end of the day, it is about like high quality content, but I think it's changed and I think that it's going to continue to change and evolve. LLMs have gotten so sophisticated and so good that yeah, I think it's changed. I think SEO is changing. I think content marketing practices and content validation is changing. So yeah, I think it's a moving target.
Yeah, I think hard to keep up right now with what's going on. But yeah, so let's talk about Originality AI. So what products and or services does the company offer?
Yeah, so we offer an array of different content validation tools. So our number one focus is AI detection. So we have our own AI that detects AI. So we've trained it since like well before ChatGPT had launched. We were starting to train it on data from other similar tools and kind of like the OG GPTs. And so we started training it, and then we just got like really lucky with timing when we launched like the week that ChatGPT launched. And so we got very, very lucky with timing, and we were kind of coincidentally very accurate on, ChatGPT content that was being generated because they're kind of based off of the same model. And yeah, so we got lucky that way. But our intention originally was just to build like a better plagiarism tool because we'd been using Copyscape for many, many years and saw the problems of using it at scale. And so our intention was just to build like a more sophisticated and modern plagiarism detection tool. So that is kind of like our secondary piece to Originality. But then we also have like grammar and spelling, we have fact checking, which is still in beta, but it's pretty good. And we've got an SEO, sort of like predictive SEO tool coming out soon.
Interesting. And so it seems like there's a lot of potential customers to target with this. So what's your ICP like industry wise first? Like what industries are you targeting with your product?
So content marketers, people who need to create content at a high level and don't want to take risks around accidentally publishing AI on a client site, accidentally publishing plagiarized content. And so yeah, basically content marketers is our number one ICP.
Okay, and these could be content marketers, say, well, I guess by the term it's maybe you think like agencies or people, writers producing a lot of content for their
Mhm.
clients then.
So agencies would be our number one. We were an agency And we used all of these separate tools. We used Copyscape. We used all sorts of different content marketing tools within our editorial process. And so I think we're based on the new landscape and the new requirements that people have for publishing content. We're trying to be the be all, but like the all in one solution.
One-stop
For
shop.
content marketers. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So obviously, like, okay, grammar, spell checking, can help in the writing process. But I guess this assumes that these agencies are using AI, LLM to write content, and then maybe, a person then crafts it, refines it. Is that part of that? Does it assume, all right, they're using AI to create this, and now we need checks and balances in the process?
No, it depends. Like some people really don't mind publishing AI generated content as long as high quality and it's been validated by a human that it's factually correct and whatnot. So they don't have they're not like super risk averse to that. Whereas others are like, absolutely not. We've seen how Google treats AI generated content. I will not take that risk. I don't want a lick of AI touching my site. And so they use us to validate either way. So whether you're using AI or whether you absolutely do not want to use AI, our tool is used in both scenarios.
Okay, yeah, interesting. And I know it's kind of hard to say like Google search algorithms and what they're doing there. And like, hey, I use an SEO consultant every now and then, and he's like, hey, don't even talk to me if you're going to create AI content, or written by AI. And it's like, fine, I write my own content, but what about like, I mean, where do we think Google's going with this? Because at first is it like going way to the side of like, hey, we're going to penalize AI content, but now even, in my process, I'll have, the transcript from a webinar or a guest expert and have AI at least draft, the outline or some of the content, but it was created from my content. But maybe it would get detected by Google as maybe partially AI written. So where do you think Google's going with this?
So this is like my favorite topic because we've done so much research on it. And I think the conclusion is that Google doesn't really know what Google wants. They want to be innovative and they want to leverage AI and be like hip and modern, but they also don't want to become obsolete by LLMs, right? If they are just regurgitating what an LLM will tell you, then what's the point? Especially once now, ChatGPT is starting to have partnerships and linking back to sources and stuff. So it's like Google is facing an existential threat if they are simply regurgitating something that has been generated by an LLM. And so it's within their best interest not to rank content that has just been generated by an LLM, but it's also becoming like increasingly difficult to detect that. And it's also hard to justify, if a piece of content has been has been created with an LLM in a supportive way. It's hard to tell somebody that that's crap content, that you're not going to rank it if it actually is good. So I think that Google is in like a kind of backed in a bit of a corner. And we have seen with the like multiple updates that have happened over the last couple of years that they have taken swift, aggressive action against it. And people have been like heavily penalized and lost their businesses. And it has caused these updates have caused a lot of hurt for people who have used AI to publish their content. So I think that's a pretty loud and clear message that they're not going to tolerate it. But honestly, who knows?
Yeah, because right, it could just be the way of the world of just, hey, that's part of the process. And now, yeah, getting back to the core thesis, I guess, is it good content? Does it serve the purpose of that search intent? So,
Right.
yeah, yeah,
Right. But they're facing a bit of a double-edged sword, right? And it could for sure make Google completely obsolete if at the end of the day they just have regurgitated LLM content on their top searches.
yeah. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah, I've been, authoring my blog for the past 9 years and see updates come through and just at the whim of Google, and then traffic goes down. And even though
Yeah.
it's all, say quote unquote handwritten, human written.
Right.
So yeah, we'll see how things perform. So let's talk a few stats and figures. So what year was Originality AI founded?
It was founded in 2022.
Okay. 2022. And then do you have a headquarters location or are you all virtual?
So most of the team is virtual, but we do have our core team that is in Collingwood, Ontario. So yeah, so we have an office here. Where are you?
I'm in now Scottsdale, Arizona.
Oh, fun. Oh, nice. Must be a lot warmer than it is here.
Yeah, I was in Denver. Yeah, it's I think it's cold everywhere right now as we tape
Yeah.
this late January 2025. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's your current team size?
Right now, ooh, that's a good question. I think we have about, we're still pretty small. We have about 20 like full-time staff and then still a bunch of like agencies that work for us in various capacities.
Yeah, makes sense. And then anything you want to share around revenue ranges, ARR ranges?
I'm not sure what I'm allowed to share.
Okay, yeah, not sure, not sure. But yeah, so yeah, revenue generating at this point.
Definitely.
Yeah,
Definitely revenue generating. Yeah, we have some aggressive goals, but definitely revenue generating and profitable.
yeah. Okay, perfect. Yeah, love profit. And so tell us, how are you finding, tell us a little bit about your go-to-market motion. How are you finding customers?
So a lot of it, we're lucky. Like a lot of it is inbound. Part of my role is, and my background and my strength is content marketing. So we have done a lot of content marketing and we rank for a lot of the search terms that people who are looking for a solution like ours would be looking for. So we have a pretty aggressive content marketing strategy. We also have, and something that I've been working on, which is actually a lot of fun. It's a digital PR strategy. So creating really interesting studies, leveraging our tool. So for example, a perfect example, one that actually went live yesterday was, okay, how many Google reviews within the last 5 years have over the last 5 years, what is the percentage of Google reviews that are AI generated? So we conducted a big study and come up with like a statistically significant range and then create a study around it and pitch it to journalists to try to get in front of people at various media outlets to get a story and a link. So that also helps with just like brand recognition and also, yeah, getting in front of people who might also be writing stories for the type of people that we sell to.
Interesting. And well, you caught my attention with that. So give us a little insight. Like, so you're saying Google reviews. So is there a lot of influence or like interference with AI written reviews then?
Yeah. So I'm going to pull this up. Over the last 5 years, just give me a second.
Mhm. And you said
Um,
you just released this yesterday then?
just released this yesterday. So we could try to kind of like launch one on a weekly basis. And we have like a full AI research team that uses our tool to scrape and analyze data. And so, yeah, from 2019 to 2024, AI generated Google reviews have increased by 209 or 79%. So, yeah, basically 19% of Google reviews that you're reading are likely AI generated. And so that sparks, that gets people's attention. And it kind of highlights the issue. Like if you're reading a Google review about somewhere that you'd like to visit, you're probably hoping that it's written by a human or by somebody who has actually had the experience that you're trying to like weigh your decision making on. And so that's kind of how we sow the like, oh, this is a problem. Maybe we should have a method at detecting this stuff. And that's when a tool like ours would come in handy. So it sows the doubt, it shows the data, and then pitches the solution, which is our software, as the solution.
Yeah, I love that. And do you think, say, like Google reviews and review sites and just where it's user generated, well, supposedly user generated content for reviews, do you think are companies still trying to catch up with, say, these AI bots who are posting these? And of course, I'm on LinkedIn and I see a lot of AI replies in the comments where it's like, LinkedIn hasn't caught up or trying to block these AI comments. Do you think are they still playing catch up on this?
I think that they're still playing catch up, and then you'll see when they've caught up. So there's certain platforms, I think G2 was one of them, where we saw like a huge spike, increase, and then a huge drop within the last couple of years, which means that they are using something to validate these reviews and determine whether they are suitable for their platform or not. Because they don't want to, it's not within their best interest to have all of this like AI generated crap on their site that doesn't really give anybody the information that they're looking for to make an informed decision, right? So yeah, so it's been a really interesting space to navigate.
Yeah, yeah, it is fascinating just thinking about these huge companies that even that they're still trying to catch up to this, because it's pretty obvious sometimes when you read comments or the same comment over and over to this from the same person that yeah, it's they've got some AI hooked up to this to do this. So
For
yeah,
sure. And like we see from onboarding large clients or larger agencies or larger clients, we see the like procurement process to adopting a tool like Originality is like so intense and so many hoops to jump through and so many security questionnaires to go through. And so we see why it takes so long for these companies to adopt something like this.
yeah, yeah, it makes a ton of sense. I appreciate that insight. It's fascinating. So and then so originally originality AI is bootstrap. So is that a choice to like of course a lot of companies, start bootstrap, raise, or could be a year, 5 years down the road where they raise capital. And is it the plan to stay bootstrapped, or do you have a plan around kind of your capital funding source as you go?
I think it depends where we want to take this. So I'm not sure I have a clear answer on that.
Mm.
I think right now it makes a lot of sense to keep going the way we're going, and we are profitable. We're sinking a lot of profits into this business and have making new hires, and but I can see a point where we will hit the ceiling and say, okay, we'll look for outside capital to grow it in XYZ or to make an acquisition, or I think that that could be a plausible way forward for sure.
Yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of camps on, just hey, bootstrap only or practical funding, and so just and sometimes yeah, it just makes sense, based on the business and what you're trying to do that funding may come into play there. So yeah,
At
appreciate
some
that.
point, for sure, and I
Yeah,
definitely don't think it's off the table. I think while we were getting going and people were like, this was such a new software and technology, and everybody wanted it, so we got approached a lot. And so we took sort of the stance that like, no, we're not. But I do think that it's a conversation to reopen at some point in the future as we continue to grow. And yeah, as I said, we're always looking at other businesses that have something that we need, and so it's never off the table.
yeah, yeah, definitely probably a lot of businesses out there, smaller ones who have yeah, like similar functionality, but just on a much smaller scale or not advanced. So
Yeah.
and Manny, at this stage of your business, do you have a favorite number metric that you're using to guide the business, whether that's like, usage metrics or financial metrics? Any numbers come to mind or type of metric that you look at to guide the business?
Yeah, so every department kind of has their favorite numbers. And so we actually just adopted, have you ever heard of the software called Mixpanel?
Hmm.
Yeah, so we just adopted Mixpanel. It's really, really great and fun to look at. And so we kind of have all these dashboard based on like what department you are. And so I know that like our developers really like to look at like user metrics. I like to look at conversion rates and the sources at which people are coming to us. And I think everyone likes to look at revenue.
Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, definitely.
I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
that's the most important metric.
Yeah, definitely. Revenue's always up there. Our ARR, top metric, plus of course a lot of,
Yeah.
say usage metrics, product adoption metrics. So appreciate that insight. So Mandy, appreciate
Yeah.
you sharing your time and your journey so far. Tell us what's coming up next for Originality AI.
Yeah. So as I said, we're launching a really, really exciting new feature that is going to be a predictive SEO, predictive SEO model, which will be really, really fun. So we're working on that, and we're really excited to bring it to market.
All right. So predictive SEO model. And so again, appreciate your time today. If listeners would like to learn more about Originality AI, where should we send them online?
Probably to LinkedIn. We've got everything that's worth. We also have a Facebook group that you can join if you'd like to get part of the conversation around how we can make our tool better, or if you have any questions in general about the tool and the usage.
Okay, perfect. And just to make sure, and your domain is I think it's originality.ai, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay. So you can go to originality.ai as well. Check out their LinkedIn and all the content, great content that they're producing and these studies, which are fascinating. So really love that. So Mandy, appreciate your time, sharing your journey, a little bit about what's happening in Originality AI. And again, thanks for coming on today.
Thank you so much for having us.